Full?
Yeah. I'm covered. It must be covered.
Is it a Dominion? Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Yes, we are.
You can't see that, right?
So to the words of Shalom Aleichem, I want to welcome you all here on this Leil Shabbat, this evening of Shabbat, or almost the evening, as we move into these summer months. This Shabbat, for those of you who don't read my our emails, is not only Shabbat but also Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan, which the rabbis, well, there must have been rabbis like me, but the rabbis described as Mar Cheshvan. The bitter month of Cheshvan, because it is only one of the Hebrew months that doesn't have a festival in it. I think all of us are just grateful for the opportunity to kind of have a breather after all of the energy, all of the celebrations, all of the simchas of Tishrei. But Tishrei was really wonderful. At moments challenging, almost always deeply meaningful. And it is lovely to gather this evening to mark Rosh Chodesh and to mark Shabbat. And so just as we begin with our people's song of welcome, so too do we have words that are even older than ours, as I say, Wamajeka and Wamajeka. The words of welcome for the traditional owners and first custodians of the land on which we gather, the Wurundjeri people and the Burran people of the East Kulin Nation. Pay our respects to their elders past, present, and evolving, for we know well that it's through our elders that we learn traditions, cultures, and hopes of all peoples. May our shared faith in the future guide us towards a time when, united in faith and hope, we can gather together under the same sky and learn from the wisdom woven into the fabric of this sacred land. How great, in fact, it is that we can be together, those in the room and those handful of people we know who are joining us online, because you asked us to stream, and we're more than happy to do that. So we turn to page 5 as we transition into our Kabbalah Shabbat songs and Psalms of Shabbat, beginning with Psalm 95, 96, and then 97. Meaning of Shabbat. Meaning of Shabbat, we are taught, is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week we live under the tyranny of things of space. On Shabbat we try to become attuned to the holiness of time. It's a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time. To turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation. From the world of creation to the creation of the world. What is the meaning of Shabbat? The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. To celebrate the people that we were able to create and share time with. Psalm 98, Psalm 99 and Psalm 29 continue to carry us through Kabbalat Shabbat on Psalm on page 7. strength to your people. And bless your people with peace. Psalm 29. So as we move through these songs and psalms of Shabbat, we arrive at the words of Lechadodi on page 8. Lechadodi itself is not a psalm of Shabbat, it's not a psalm in fact at all, it's a view, it's a poem. There are so many different melodies for this period. Each of them, I think, by the writers, intended to try and capture the beauty and the romance of perhaps more than romance, the passion of the author, who was trying to capture the unbridled joy of Shabbat and the anticipation that comes with it, the metaphor of someone on their wedding day going out to greet their partner is strong, a strong metaphor and speaks to anticipation. And I think at the end of our work weeks or our weeks, however we choose to spend them, able to spend them, it's hard for us to really imagine that sense of anticipation. Most of us have a much greater sense of exhaustion than anticipation. But Lechadodi gives us a chance to kind of go back in order to go forward, to think about what it would be like to be standing on the threshold of something you've looked forward to forever, even though it was only a week ago. Those are the emotions that this poem evoke, and those are the emotions that the melodies try to embrace. rise and turn to the door to welcome Shabbat. As we're seated, or before we're seated, as I can see for a number of you, we turn to Psalm 92, Mismoshila Yom HaShabbat, the Psalm for Shabbat Day. It's the last of the 7 Psalms of Kabbalah Shabbat. And in the middle of the Psalm, there is this beautiful appreciation of the world in which we live. It's a chill in this room, but Tammy and I have the privilege of the sun setting over our shoulders. Means that you guys probably can't see a single thing right now. But we've got this warmth on our backs, which is really a way of really being very appreciative of the beauty of the world. We're going to make our way into Shabbat with Mizmor Shir Le'or Shabbat, and particularly this verse that appreciates the beauty of the world. And if you're not going to have an opportunity later this evening, or perhaps you'd like multiple opportunities to kindle Shabbat lights, as Judy's doing, then I'd like to invite you to make your way over and add your light to our light as we celebrate Shabbat together. In welcoming you this evening, I mentioned that as well as being Shabbat, it's also Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan. And traditionally on Shabbat Rosh Chodesh, there are a whole host of additions we put into our service. There's a special Haftarah that's read on Shabbat morning. There are additional prayers that are inserted into the Amidah, all little rabbinic tweaks to make sure that we don't take the passing of time for granted. That we recognize that life is filled with all sorts of moments, the good and the not so good, and that when we pass from one to the other, we should give appreciation for the good and draw strength from it, knowing that other times will return and that, please God, we will go back to the good again. The rabbis described this transition into Cheshvan as being one of those sad moments. But as I said in my message to the community, for us, it's kind of like the start of Simcha season. We move out of the Yamim Noraim into the warmer months here, and an whole series of smachot, beginning with a wedding this weekend, which was beautiful, and then bar and mitzvahs and more weddings. We're hosting 7 simchas between now and the end of the calendar year, which I don't know if there are that many weekends, but we hope it's going to be great, which is really a wonderful thing, and a reminder that for everything there is a time. That song, "For Everything There Is a Time," was most famous for the birds, but actually has its origin in the book of Kohelet in Ecclesiastes. It's the first 8 verses of chapter 8, first 8 verses of chapter 3 in the book of Kohelet, where we are taught that there is a time for every experience under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time for planting and a time for uprooting. A time for killing and a time for healing. A time for breaking down and a time for building up. A time for weeping and a time for laughing. A time for mourning and a time for dancing. A time for throwing stones and a time for gathering stones. A time for embracing and a time for refraining from embracing. A time for seeking and a time for losing. A time for keeping and a time for discarding. A time for tearing and a time for sowing. A time for silence and a time for speaking. A time for war and a time for peace. We sit on the start of a new month. May it be the time that you need it to be.
There is a season, time, 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 and a time to recover under heaven. Et levadet nirkot mechatek, et levakesh, et laabed, et shor, et lehashmid, et likor, et likor, et lehashor, et lehaber, et lehor, et lisnor, et milchama, et shalom, et milchama, et shalom.
And so it's from that last verse that we're going to transition. As we recognize that there is indeed, unfortunately, a time for war. And we pray also that there is a time for peace. And so we'll stay outside of our prayer book for a moment or two longer as we turn to the blue supplements and to the words of Achinu. As we think of those who are still being held captive, as well as their family and friends whose lives have been held hostage. Within this prayer, we think not only of them, but for the entire people and state of Israel. As we offer our prayers of hope for a change in season. So it's from a prayer for those who are missing, that we turn to page 10 and 11 and think about those now who we've lost. Arise first in remembrance of those whose Shiva we're observing, those who passed in the last 7 days. If you're remembering a loved one, friend or family who passed in the last week, then I invite you to stand with me. We then extend our circle of remembrance out one step further as we think of those who were lost in the last 30 days and whose life and legacy still feels very present in our existence. If you're remembering someone for Shoshim, then I invite you to stand with me. We then extend our circle of remembrance out yet another step and think of those who passed in this last year, who we have loved and who we have lost, but whose Yotzai, the anniversary of their passing, is not yet arrived. If you're in the period of Avilut or remembering someone who passed in the last 12 months, then I invite you to stand with me. And then finally, we think about those whose Yotzaites we're observing at this Shabbat, at this time as we transition from the month of Tishrei to the month of Cheshvan. If you're remembering the anniversary of the passing of a loved one, then I invite you to stand now with me. And then, as I stand in remembrance of those who we have loved and lost, I offer the words of Kadisha Tom and invite those who wish to do so with me to join me in remembering. יתגדל ויתקדש שומר הבא, למען דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, מעגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבם מבורך לעולם אמן היה, יתברך וישתבח וילהב ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי וקודשה ויכול, ועילם מכל ברכתה ושירתה. ושלחת ונחמת, נאמינם בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיים, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, אמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תיבה, ואמרו amen. We remain standing for a few more moments as we offer those words at the foot of that prayer one more time, asking that the Eternal One who makes peace reign in the heavens above bring peace to us, and we pray to all humanity. Call to prayer on page 12. Please be seated and join me in the Ma'ariv Baruch. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'dvaro ma'ariv harabim, v'chokhmah potach sha'arim, v'lifnei meshadei itzim, ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים בשמונותיהם ברקיע כרצונו בורא יום ולילה, גולה אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אחד וקיים תמיד עם רחמים לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני ומעריב הרבים.
Vitem Kedoshim Elohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher Hotzeiti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
To be love and understanding amongst us. The peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Eternal One, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. On page 18, and those that follow, we have our Amidah, and it's our way. We'll begin together with the words of Chana, and then continue in personal prayer, reflection, meditation, pause, however it is you want to use this time on this Shabbat evening before rejoining each other on the foot of page 25. We stand and remain standing for as long as you are comfortable. And the words are bound and the meditations of our heart be acceptable to you, our rock and our redeemer. Before we begin to close our service with Shtiebel on page 26 and 27, just a couple of announcements of things that are coming up in the next few weeks. Tomorrow afternoon, for those who are looking for a fantastic conversation and outstanding company, Queer Conversations is at.
From the programs?
Do we know what the topic is?
Yes.
Yes, of course. A week late, but who cares? You'll be
It's all right. Hanukkah is Sukkot 4 weeks late, 8 weeks late, but I'll leave that for another whole story. Sorry, I taught that text a couple of times this week. But that is tomorrow. Then we've got a busy Sunday with a variety of different celebrations, including a wedding. Then on we got Briss on Tuesday afternoon. Lenore on Sunday. Okay, I knew there was something here. Lenore, Ayala is leading her dance class on Sunday afternoon. For those who want to find out more, there's heaps of information about her approach to dance, to healing and creative community on our website. And then we're back here next Shabbat. We're going to try something a little different. I decided while we're going through services, both because of the glare and because the following week we need to be facing a different direction. So we might move the room around next week, just because we can.
You need to be facing in different direction.
We do. We have a wedding over there that needs to be streamed to South Africa. So we might as well use Shabbat as an opportunity not to glare over our shoulders to see how it's going. But all of these different things. But really, it's been a really very busy month of Tishrei, concluded with a really hectic couple of things. You might notice the absence of our former billiard table and the arrival of what was the billiard room, which is now called the dining room. And we've also done some upgrades to our kitchen just to help us better serve our growing community, which is just wonderfully exciting.
Just saying the craft group's meeting on Monday as well.
On Monday?
Yeah. They know they are.
Okay, great.
Everyone is welcome
To craft.
to craft at our place on Monday.
Great, awesome. What did I really describe that as? The social justice workshop. Coming together to make things for great causes, including creating community. I meant that with all the love in the world. And I should say that we will not be back on the week here next week. We're not sure the following week. Although we do plan on putting something out if the time difference will allow us to do on live stream. We'll cover that Shabbat. But we're doing a bar mitzvah that weekend in, how do we pronounce it? Wanaka. It's not that place from that imaginary. It's not that place from
We're going to Lord of the Rings.
We're going to film Lord of the Rings to do army. We're pretty excited about. We'll stream Shabbos dinner, Shabbos services because there's a time difference. So we'll do that. We're grateful. We're going to close as we always do with words of prayer. It really is a wonder that I haven't dropped all my ideals because they seem so absurd and impossible to carry out. Yet I keep them because in spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. I simply cannot build my hopes on a foundation of confusion, misery, and death. I see the world gradually being turned into a wilderness. I hear the approaching thunder, I can feel the suffering of millions, and yet if I look up into the heavens, I think all of this will come out right one of these days. And that cruelty will end. And that peace and tranquility will return again. In the meantime, I must hold on to my ideals. For perhaps the day will come by Yom HaHu when we will be able to carry them out. You're hopeful. And we win for the win. Thank you. We're going to close our service as we always do with the words of Hayashah. So I invite you to rise for Kiddush, which has already made its way around. Just for those who are counting, we're almost finished the leftover grape juice from the Kriya Seder, so we might be returning to wine soon. Okay, how are we? Okay, right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri l'chaim. In honor of your birthday, you get to practice your Hebrew.
Go.
From that column, not that column.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamoti l'kein midhanorot.
Okay, I didn't correct your pronunciation, but I'll say Amen. Happy birthday. Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, just take one from the middle, that's all.
Take the whole lot.
Go.
Come on.
Just take two. Oh my. Be embarrassed by yourself. You all done the same thing today.
No, it's fine. I'm good.